Hello everyone, my name is Igor and today we're talking with Lee about life in Russia and other interesting things. So hi Lee, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Can you tell us what are you doing here in Moscow?
Well, I teach English here. I've been here for about 2.5 years. Got here in August of 2015. Was in Slovakia before that, and then Czech Republic before that. So, yeah, I've enjoyed it so far. It's been fun.
And you're originally from US?
From U.S., yeah, from Tennessee, Memphis specifically. So in the south part of the U.S., yeah.
And what brings you here in Moscow?
It's tough to answer, I think. When I was in Slovakia, I wanted to go somewhere else to teach, to work, to travel, and I don't know. I came across a job offer here at the school that I'm at, and I wanted a new adventure, something exciting. I've traveled to most of Europe, most of Central Europe, but Russia is like completely different. Russia's not really Central Europe; it's like Eastern Europe. So, yeah, it was just a new adventure, new opportunity, new culture, new language, new vibe. One of the biggest cities in the world, and yeah, I applied to the school here. They offered me a contract. I signed it, and I was like, let's go to Moscow. Let's go to Russia. So.
Okay, and
Yeah.
what was your first impression when you arrived in the Moscow airport? What have you seen here?
Lots of people. Yeah, we were pretty crowded on the plane when I landed. I was in Ukraine about 4 months before, and that was my first experience with Cyrillic, with the different alphabet, and I couldn't understand anything.
Where have you been there, in what cities?
Kiev, only
In
Kiev.
Kiev, only
Yeah,
Kiev.
and I was like, wow, this is insane. Like I can't read anything. And then I started studying the alphabet over the summer before I moved here. And then actually getting to see it and like, oh yeah, that's a D.
When have you
that's
been
an
there?
N. So
In what year?
2015.
In 2015?
Yeah, about 3 years ago.
That's
almost
like,
3 years ago.
and when you arrived in Kiev and then you came here to the Moscow, how you feel are different? Because I heard from some Europeans that they did not feel the difference between Ukraine and Russians. What do you say about this?
It's tough to say. I wasn't in Kiev that long. I mean, I've been here a long time. 2.5 years is a long time to me. So I've been here a long time, so I've kind of gotten used to the vibe, used to the people, used to the personality, the way of life, like the fast-paced, like, get on the metro, get out of my way, I have to go to work, that sort of thing. If you stop somewhere, you're going to get run over. I think it's about the same. I didn't really... It's tough to compare, I think. If I was to compare, I would say it's really similar. Sort of, it's pretty similar. It's about the same. But yeah, getting here and actually seeing, after studying the alphabet a bit over the summer, and seeing the signs in Russian, the Cyrillic, I was like, yeah, right. I recognize some letters. I know what that word means, and it was yeah. But now it's like, okay, I can read a lot of more things. Way more things than I could when I first got here. But seeing the city on the scale that it is, it's not really like a New York type city where there's just skyscrapers for like 20 kilometers. It's more just wide. It goes for as long as you can see. There's so many different districts and different areas. The metro is like, 250, 260 stations. So it's very spread out. So there's so much to see, so much to do. And I've probably only been to maybe a third of the whole city, because there's just so much to see, so much to do, and so many different areas and that sort of thing. So,
Before you came here in Moscow and before you came to Russia, what was your stereotypes about Russian life, Russians, maybe about this history?
yeah, a lot of people told me. Well, most of the people that told me stuff had never been to Russia, so it wasn't. I wasn't getting firsthand information. But a lot of them were saying like, yeah, a lot of the Russians are very cold. You see them on the metro, which I think some of it is true. Like you see them on the metro, they're very just. They're just sitting.
Directed.
Yeah, the metro is just and they're just staring at the floor or at a spot on the wall.
Is it not the same in New York or in some other
It can
American
be.
cities?
I think Americans are more open. They'll just start a conversation.
Are they
with
easy to
anybody.
talk in the metro?
I've only been to New York once. It was last year. I didn't really talk to anybody, but a lot of people were having conversations, just random people. I think Americans are more open. They're just more talkative, and it's not really like a better thing or a bad thing, but like a lot of the Russians are very closed off. Yeah, close to the vest, we say, the expression. Like they don't really want to tell you like what's going on unless they get to know you. And when you get to know them, they become like the coolest people. They're super friendly. They're very hospitable. I had no idea, like, you know, the first time I went to like a Russian flat or a Russian like dacha, Russian house, they're like, yeah, here's all this food, here's all these drinks, like, please eat everything, drink everything. We want you to, you know, feel at home. It's like, it's very welcoming.
In Moscow here.
Yeah, it's very very welcoming, very open, and very, very hospitable. And you don't get that, I think, until you talk to them, get to know them. And I think Americans are more just like, yeah, come over and hang out. Like, let's have a drink.
You have some Russian friends?
Yeah, I have a lot of Russian friends, actually. Well, I don't know about a lot, maybe 10 to 12. Some colleagues and some friends that I've met over the 2.5 years. They're usually the ones that help me when I have to go somewhere in the city that my really horrible Russian language skill isn't enough. Yeah, like if I have to go to like the doctor or the pharmacy, they're the ones that like give me like a card, like with exactly, you know, a text, you know, for me to give them that I can't, you know, remember. So yeah, it's beneficial when you have to do some difficult task. Going to the grocery store, something's easy, but when you have to go to, you know, and actually have a conversation with someone, that's when it becomes difficult. So that's when they're
said about the aptech and or pharmacy, and
yeah.
I would like to have you had the experience to visit the doctors in Russia?
Yeah, I think I've been to the doctor more here than I have in the U.S. in the past 20 years probably. And it's not because I'm sick all the time. I'm not sick very often, but yeah, and that's I got really sick back in January, right after New Year's. I had bronchitis for about 2 weeks. I was coughing all the time, couldn't sleep, and I went to the doctor, and I had to go by myself.
Uh-huh.
And it was, normally with my school...
It was municipal clinic?
I guess.
It was a city government clinic?
Yeah. Just, I guess it's just city healthcare. I don't know.
Because they say a lot of commercial clinics also.
Okay. Well, it's just the one they sent me to. I've just got the insurance card, and they sent me. But they said normally with the school they send one of our administrators along with the foreign teachers to help with translation issues and, you know, whatever. But then they said, hey, we can't go with you. You're gonna have to go alone. And I was really nervous, and yeah, I had to go by myself, and it was quite the experience. They gave me like a card with all the stuff in Russian, what was going on, what medicine I was taking, and then I got my blood taken, had an X-ray done, didn't really talk to anybody. The girl at the desk said, she spoke a little English, and she said, the doctor is going to see you, and I was waiting outside his office, and he came out and said something to me in Russian, and I was like. And I just handed him the paper, and he was like, bronchitis. And he just said bronchitis, and that was it. He didn't check me. He didn't listen to my chest. He didn't ask me anything. He was just like...
blood test, you made a blood test?
Yeah, we did the blood test and the X-ray, and then he told me it was bronchitis just by reading the paper. That's it. And he just took me to the desk, and he said bronchitis, and then that was it, and I left. So
they make some receipt for you?
Yeah, I had everything. I went to the pharmacy, got the medication. I went later in the day when one of them could go with me in case there was a translation issue.
Did it help to you?
Yeah. Luckily, it was on the winter vacation, so for like 6 days I had to just rest and sleep. So that's pretty much what I did. Just drank a lot of water, took the medicine, and slept. And drank hot tea. That's all I did. So
you're all happy with the Russian medicine service here?
Yeah, it was good. That was one of the biggest differences because I can't really afford healthcare in the U.S. and coming here, having all the tests done, like the first couple of times I went to the doctor getting X-rays or getting an examination and getting all these tests done, and I go to get my wallet, to pay, and they're like, no, it's free. It's, Russian healthcare. And I was like, oh, excellent. I don't have to pay for anything. It's a bit of a shock. I was like, great. I don't have to pay for anything.
Happy
awesome.
to know that the foreigners are satisfied with the Russian medicine, because some people are blaming that the Russian medicine is not good enough, and the service in the hospitals are not good enough. And when you said it's actually quite a good quality, it's nice to hear.
Yeah, it's a bit different, because like when you go in the clinic, there's all these doors with like 1 through 15. It's like an escape room. You have to go like 1 to 10 to 5 to 4, and you have to go through all these order. And in the States, it's like, go in this room, and then they take care of everything.
Back to your visit, first came to Russia. It was easy to get the job here.
Quite easy, actually.
Can you tell us the tale? What was happened? How you signed the contract? How you found the company?
Yeah, there's like 3 or 4 or 5 websites that teachers use, like EFL, like foreign language teachers use, ESL Cafe, things like that. And I found the job on there, found the job posting. I sent them my CV, and they emailed me the next day, and they said, can we do an interview? I think it was like Monday. And they said, can we do an interview with you on Friday on Skype? We did the Skype interview, about an hour and a half, and then they sent me the contract on Monday. And they pay for everything. They pay for my housing here. They pay for the health insurance. They reimburse the visa up to like, I don't know, $250, $300. They pay up to 30,000 ruble for the flight, like the first flight when you come in. So it's quite a lot of good benefits. I was really surprised at how much they were willing to like compensate to bring me here, and that's for a lot of the foreign teachers.
Because somebody says that this is our Russians are always trying to cheat, and you shouldn't trust the Russian companies here.
I've heard a few small horror stories from like friends of friends that I have gotten screwed out of money, or they we're not going to pay you for this or that, and I was a little nervous, but I had the contract and everything. I wasn't really sure how legally that would work out, like if there was an issue, but there hasn't been a single issue. So I think I'm pretty lucky with what I've got.
So during this 2.5 years, you're working for the same company all the time?
Yeah, I've been working for the same school since 2015, since the day I got here.
That's cool. And what is your next plan? You still want to stay here in Moscow and working more longer?
Yeah, I'm staying here for the next year, for sure. I haven't signed the contract yet, but we've already gone over the basic stuff for next year. And then I don't know. I like it here. I've got a lot of friends here. I'm used to it now. I'm used to the metro, used to the system, the style of everything. And Moscow is very close to Europe, mainland Europe, Central Europe. So you can easily travel somewhere if I want to. I don't need a visa or anything like that. So it's convenience to go to visit friends in other countries and things like that. So it's a good location, I think.
I see, it's good to hear. Can you tell me about where you spend your spare time?
I like to sleep a lot.
As everyone here in Moscow, because everyone are busy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, working 30, 32, 33 hours a week.
It's not a big amount,
No, but on top of that, we have to lesson plan, and we have a lot of paperwork we have to do. So it kind of adds up at the end of every week. But in the summer, in the spring, in the fall, when the weather's nice like it is now, Gorky Park is one of my favorite places. It's huge. I love
this place too.
Yeah, I like to inline skate. I've played roller hockey for about 20 years, so I like to inline skate. I was just there the other day with like 10,000 other people. I think everybody had the same thought I did. There's so many parks in the city. Vdyanha, Sokolniki, Izmailovsky. I was there this week as well. I like to hike, I like to get away, get in the trees, in the woods, in the forest, and just, relax. I grew up camping and being outdoors, so I like to do that when I can. It's not that often I get the opportunity, but when I get the chance, I like to take it. And in the winter, I'm indoors most of the time. It's too cold to go outside and do anything.
Bars, restaurants, cinema.
Yeah.
What do you prefer?
There's a few restaurants I like. There's one expat bar that I go to pretty often. That's where I know most of my friends from. We usually meet there every week. We play cards, just hang out, have a few drinks, just chill. And just, it's underground, you get out of the weather, it's like a family environment. Everybody
it's a close foreign community here in Moscow.
Yeah, everybody knows each other. And, even if they don't know you, like you'll become part of the family really soon.
So
it's a close knit group.
Opposite the Russians in the metro.
Yeah. It's quite open. And because there's so many foreigners there, and you can meet like up to 15 or so nationalities in any given weekend. From every continent almost. And
what are they doing here in Moscow? Working as teachers or doing some business?
Majority of the foreigners that I've met are teachers. I think that's a cliche for a lot of foreigners.
It's mainstream right now. You learn some language, especially English language is a very famous one. A lot of students feel that they need to get a native English speaking teacher to get a really strong experience, because going to study abroad in England or US,
it's true.
Price very high right now. For any parents, and if you have a chance to go to the school where the native speakers stay here in Moscow and you need to go somewhere, why not? You have to use this chance.
Take the opportunity. And a lot of the Russians that come there come because they know that there's native speakers there, and they will try. They want to come and like hang out.
You're talking about Zimontek bar.
Yeah, that's the common one. Yeah, and there's other ones as well, but I think that's probably maybe the most popular.
It's not advertising, but it's a good place.
Yeah. I advertise. I have the bracelet like there, so
you do?
Yeah, I'm like one of the, right there. I'm one of the flagship members of the place. So
how can you reach
it? Just Prudy Metro. But yeah, a lot of the Russians that come there come because the foreigners are there and they want to practice English in like a relaxed,
so it's easy
chill
to
setting.
Pick up some friends, girlfriends.
Yeah, all of that's available. Yeah. The right timing, you never know. You never know what's gonna happen. So.
What about some casualties problem in the Moscow or criminal situations? Anything happened with you, or maybe with your friends of your friends?
Nothing's happened with me. I think I look like just the generic white kid. Just that I don't look 32. I probably look like in my early 20s. Everybody thinks I'm either Swedish or German or Irish, something like that. Most of my family heritage is from the UK and Ireland, so I just have this pale skin. So the police have never bothered me. The only time I've ever had I wouldn't call it an altercation, but my friend and I were going to a concert, and we stopped on the street. It was in February, and we were looking for trying to figure out the way. And there was a car behind us, and I think the police were coming to question them about something, and they thought that we were with them, which we weren't. And three police officers come out of the car, and luckily I had my passport on me. I don't carry it. I have it today, but I don't carry it all the time. And he was like, document, passport. And I was like, oh, this is great. Like, my first time being stopped by the police. And I was like, oh, Amerikansky, all right. And I was like... I was a little nervous. Like, I don't know
what they're gonna do now.
How cool you are with the US. Yeah,
pay back for also the sanction.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're gonna pay him back. So, yeah, he said something. He asked me a question in Russian, and I understood like 2 words, and my friend was Russian, and they were laughing, and he was like, Hostel, here you go. Yeah, it's okay. And I was like, what did he ask? And she was like, oh, he just asked if you brought any weapons into Moscow when you came, like, from the U.S. And I was like, oh, yeah. I brought some guns,
Across several airports, why not?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I got all the way to Russia with all my weapons. Yeah, of course.
Like a James Bond.
Yeah, so that's really the only altercation you could say that I've had. I tend to not, that was one of the things they told us, or I read online, before I came. It was like, if you're out late at night, don't speak your native language loudly.
Okay.
If it's not Russian.
It was your friends that advised you?
I read it online. I read it online.
Okay.
And so it's not a huge deal. If I'm with a group of people, I don't really care. But if it's like 2 or 3 of us or a small group, I tend to not really talk loud because that's a stereotype of Americans is that we speak.
Maybe it just
really
help
loud,
you to save your heel here. Why not?
Do what?
Well, save your heel. Do not get in trouble. So
Yeah.
why not?
It might. So yeah, I tend to not. If I see police,
I
coming,
could tell
I'll
you
tend
that in the night time, somewhere far from the center, even me don't want to speak loud.
Yeah.
When walk along.
Yeah. So when I see police at night, I'm just, I'm like I'll just keep it quiet, just to be respectful.
I
I
can
guess.
say that in Moscow is still safe compared with the other cities.
Of course, I feel safe. Sometimes, I take the last metro 12:30, 1 o'clock, and I walk from the metro to my flat, which is like 10 minutes. I don't think I would feel really safe doing that in like New York or even the city I'm from in Memphis. I definitely wouldn't do it at that late by myself.
What can happen there?
Lots of things can happen. Lots of people have
some
guns.
bands,
Yeah, you could get mugged, robbed, shot, stabbed. Stuff stolen from you.
Even for adult men like you.
Yeah, I'm pretty small, so I think they could easily take stuff from me. But it's never happened to me because where I'm from, they tell you like you know not to go out past a certain hour.
But in the case
in
if
the
something
specific
will
area.
happen here, do you know the phone number of police, local police? What are they gonna do?
It's a quiz question.
What is your
quiz?
What is
Actually, I've heard the number, but I don't remember. I know it's like. I actually don't remember. I've never had to use it. I've never had to think about it, so I don't know.
I just question maybe. In some cases, you never know where.
Actually,
maybe you will need some help, or friends of you will need some help.
Actually, if I get in trouble, I'll probably call a friend before I'll call the. Can you call the police? I don't know the number. Okay. Yeah, 911 doesn't work.
I don't know. In Russia, they exist, especially in the center of Moscow, they exist a squad of tourist police here, about 200 policemen. They're doing patrol around the Kremlin and some
pretty
common tourist areas.
Pretty common, yeah. There are lots of places.
Some of them.
That's good.
I watch it on RT. There's a video about them. They can speak English a little bit, so they can help.
It's like the tourist police.
Yeah, it's a tourist. It's exactly a tourist police. They have a base here as a tourist police.
Yeah.
So what about some events here? Concert, rock bands. What do you listen here? Do you interested about Russian culture or Russian history? What can be interesting to you?
Well, about music, I'm a big music fan. I'm a big hard rock, heavy metal fan, as you can tell.
What is your favorite one?
Slipknot's my favorite band. This is my second favorite band. I know the guitar player from this band from Australia. So yeah, that night that I got stopped by the police, we were actually going to a concert over off Kurskaya. But I've been to a few shows here. I actually saw Slipknot here at Olympiski a couple years ago. It was a really good show. Lots of crazy Russian fans, and then of course when we're speaking English, they want to talk to us, and it's a good time. So as far as Russian, what'd you say, Russian culture, or?
Russian culture, Russian movies. Have you seen any?
I have not seen any Russian movie. The movies that I've seen have been
maybe American movie.
American
about the Russia. What is your famous one or favorite one? Maybe
I have to think about that for a second. American movie about Russia. Oh man, I'd have to think about it. I know there's some actually, I just thought of one. One of my favorite movies when I was younger was Enemy at the Gates. I don't know if have you seen that one?
Of course.
Okay, yeah.
About a sniper and war and Stalingrad. Yeah, Vasily Zaitsev.
Zaitsev, yeah.
Yes, he's a really existing person.
Yeah, that was probably, I was probably 15 when that movie came out back in 2000, 2001. I guess you could say that was my introduction to maybe the American portrayal of Russian heroes or Russian war, something like that. I thought it was a great movie. It's still a favorite of mine.
It's made a little bit, in Russia we don't like much Enemy at the Gate because it's based on stereotypes about the war. Like in the beginning when they run without the weapons, actually, it's never happened in real life. And
it's the Hollywood.
It's a Hollywood, yeah. They took it some books of some historical and without pay attention for whole wide situation. Yeah, in the beginning of the war, there was some photography when the Russian soldiers gave up without the weapons, but the historical didn't pay attention that this was engineering squads. The engineering squads didn't used to have rifles or machine guns.
Right.
And of course, in the Stalingrad battle, there was already full armored squads, and there was no situation like somebody pushing soldiers on a fight without the weapons.
Yeah, exactly.
And
It's the Hollywood.
but still, the picture made very well. And
as a movie,
as
if
a movie,
if you don't like,
if you don't pay attention for some mistakes like
if you're
that,
not making notes about the details.
they took very good actors like Ed Harris. Is one of my
Jude Law.
yeah.
I like Ed Harris. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was a good film. If you're not making notes about
if you
like
really
what's
know
wrong
what you pay
and
for attention,
historical
in the end,
accuracy.
The Russian army won the battle. The Vasily Zaitsev killed this German sniper, and at the end of all, the good one.
Yeah.
So I like this movie too. Of course, with some.
Of course, yeah. There's always inaccuracies and inconsistencies, but yeah, about like historical stuff. Like there's a lot of monuments and different buildings in the city I like, especially St. Basil's. I mean, when I first got here, man, like walking through Red Square and seeing St. Basil's, like, and the Kremlin and Lenin's mausoleum and the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, because we have that in the States as well. It was just like, man, it's like all the stuff that I've seen in movies and in TV and internet and on the news.
It looks like better than on a photograph.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's in 3D, like right here, in front of you. So it's
4D, you can touch it.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. To be able to see it, in person and to experience and just walk through there and oh man, it was crazy. It's just one of those things where you don't think you'll ever get to see it in person, and then when you actually do it, it doesn't seem real. It's like, man, am I actually here?
Can you tell me some advices for people who want to visit Moscow or Russia as a tourist, or perhaps move here for a live for a while? Maybe you have some advices for newcomers.
Yeah, I mean, if you're coming to visit, one of my best friends is coming next month, and I was stepping him through the visa process. Of course, it's a lot of the countries need you have to have a visa to come here. It's a bit expensive. It can be, depending on what country you're from, I guess. But yeah, you really have to plan it in advance, maybe with a touring agency or with the hotel you're staying, because you have to have an invitation plus, and then the visa combination, and then registration once you get here. So I would say plan it, at least 6-7 months in advance, half a year, maybe a year in advance even. I mean, if you love cold weather, come in the winter, but I would definitely recommend the summer because the winters can be brutal. I've kind of gotten used to it, but I mean, there's days where I hate everything because it's so cold. Coming to work here, if you're doing something like I'm doing, definitely read all the fine print about the school or the company that you're coming to work for. Read the contract. Ask them any question you have. Make sure you know exactly what you're paying for, what you're getting, what the salary is. Make sure it's all in writing and everything, and there's like a verbal and written agreement and everything, because like you mentioned, I have friends of friends that have, haven't gotten paid, 25,000 ruble of what they're owed because, you didn't read the contract here where it says I don't have to pay you. So I think that's a really small number of times that happens.
Most happens sometimes to time.
It definitely happens.
Just need to be careful with companies what you're choosing.
Yeah.
Perhaps read some details about them on the internet, because a lot of expats forums are existing.
Yes, definitely read the expat forums. eslcafe.com. That is the big one. That's a very big one, and you can pick exactly what country you're going to, city, and then there's just all kinds of forums for every school, anything really. Life in Russia, how much is this, how much is that, what about the visa, this, and there's always people in there like, hey, I live here, da-da-da-da-da, and there's always people you can write to them and ask them questions, and yeah, I would say I've never done it personally, it was just my preference, I wanted to just do it, but yeah, definitely read the contract, know what you're doing, know what you're signing up for, know what you're expected to do, and just, you can watch videos and read. I wouldn't recommend reading like news and stuff. My friends message me crap all the time from the States, like our media, like, hey, it says it's not safe to travel to Russia. I'm like, I've lived here 2.5 years. I haven't had a single problem. I don't know what you're talking about.
So there's no, racism or some hating for foreigners, for Americans. Have you feel some discrimination like this in Russia?
Not personally, not like aimed at me directly. I'm a pretty chill guy. I don't really look for trouble. I don't look for trouble.
No, just a curious question, because some people can say that in Russia they don't like foreigners here, and it's just a question to you. What is your personal experience?
I think it's a bit of propaganda, honestly. Yeah, I'm sure there's people, there's hundreds of thousands of people in the U.S. that hate foreigners, and I think I'm sure there's thousands of people here that hate foreigners.
Just avoid these people.
But you don't know who they are until you're like, oh, you're from the States. You sanctioned us. We're going to sanction you. That sort of thing. So I've never had any problems. Usually I think most Russians are curious. They're just, most people I talk to that try to talk to us or me, they're like, why are you here?
What is the first question? Asking
why are you here?
And why are you here? That's a good question.
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't know. I came for the adventure. Like, why not?
Did you get it? Did you get it?
It's an ongoing adventure every day. Even on days where I sleep till noon, there's always something going on that happens. Or I try every week. I meet new people. I try to, because. I tell my friends that back home because a lot of them just do the same job all the time. They've done the same job. They're doing the same thing. They don't
have any new experience.
They all stay in the same area, and they're like, "Yeah, you should come back more." I'm like, "Yeah, I don't want to." Like,
what for?
I've got one life. I'm living it. I'm having new experiences, meeting new people, having new adventures every day, every month, every year. And I don't want to have any regrets, I don't want to be that guy that's, 70, 80, about to die. And it's like, man, I should have went on that study abroad trip when I was 25. I don't have to say that because I did it. And I just, I'm just building like this adventure resume and experiences and, just
what other
being
countries,
a sponge and just taking.
What other countries or places do you like to visit to in the future?
I've been to, in the future, or I've been to? Australia's at the top of the list. I'm going to Canada in July. I haven't been to Canada or Mexico, and my country.
But it's close to USA.
I know, and Mexico
neighbors.
too. I could tell you 20 people that have been to Mexico, but I'm like, I've never been. I've been to Spain, but I haven't been to Mexico. I'm going to Canada in July. So in Switzerland, I'm flying through Switzerland on the way home, so I'll get to do that as well. But Australia's at the top of the list. Really want to do Japan, South Korea. I haven't been to Asia yet, so I want to do that. Maybe Indonesia, China, kind of an outside thing. I've actually got 5 or 6 friends from Africa, from different parts of Africa, South Africa, Eritrea. So I kind of want to get like a real, real adventure, like in Africa or something. Like have them come and
for sure,
show me,
get yourself safari.
Exactly, yeah, and go to the big continent. Yeah, so yeah, I would say Australia's at the top of the list. Japan, South Korea, China, South Africa. Those I've only done Europe, but I've done probably 90% of it. So I've been to about 27, 28 countries. So I've hit most of them. So
that's cool.
I want to go like Asia, New Zealand, Australia, something like that. So
Lee, thank you for your
Not a problem.
time. It was a pleasure to talk with you.
Absolutely.
And
Same here.
hope you see you next time.
I'll be here.
Maybe we will find some new idea to talk about.
Absolutely.
Maybe we'll get some other things. And thank you for watching this video. Subscribe for our channel, set the likes, and have a good day. Bye bye.